Next up, we have Euthanasia Rollercoaster from the Everhood OST 82. I guess from the Everhood OST. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be a musician to understand what is happening here musically. Be advised, this is recorded live on stream. By the way, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, comment, notifications, all that kind of stuff. And of course, as I said, this is recorded live on stream. This is the first time I am hearing this track ever. So I am going to be pausing a lot because I'm going to be pointing things out as I hear them. And of course, this is done in a single take, so I might stumble upon my words here and there, all that kind of stuff. You have been warned. Let's do this. Euthanasia Rollercoaster. Brilliant name. Let's go. This is retro. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. Oh. Let's see, because we started with a very distant thing. It sounds like there's like some waves going on. Let's see where this goes. Retro ambience, yep. Very faint, very faint. Oh, there we go. It was doing what is called a crescendo. Crescendo, or in more modern terms, a fade in. This is not entirely a crescendo. Nowadays, I guess this would be a fade in, because electronic instruments don't really have that that setting. A crescendo in academic terms just means when something plays louder. This is usually something. There is a difference between volume and velocity. Velocity is the technical term given nowadays to how loud an instrument is played or somebody sings. There is a difference, of course, between playing a violin very, very softly and playing a violin very loudly, as opposed to just turning the volume knob up or down. So in this case, I think we're having a fade in with this synth that resembles a steel drum. The steel drum being, of course, this, let me see if I can, steel drum. So yeah, it's this really lovely looking, these absolutely lovely looking instruments. Some are upside down, some of them are outwards. They are usually played with mallets or with the finger. They are very, very lovely, very associated, very easily associated with tropical music. They sound absolutely lovely. They are a pain to maintain, especially some of the street ones, because of how easy they can rust. But it's a beautiful instrument, and again, the concept of orchestration goes beyond. Iconics, welcome to today. Goes beyond the whole point of the whole idea of being a classical thing. Orchestration can apply anywhere, and the idea of orchestration is just picking the right instrument for the right vibe. And sometimes you don't just want the instrument to be the right sound, you also want to evoke the right psychological response. For example, in this channel, we've talked about the difference between a piano and an organ, right? So the piano, it's a very personal thing. It's still fancy. It's still very royal and everything. But, you can fit a piano in most houses, in most apartments. You could fit a piano, maybe not a grand piano, but a piano which is functionally around the same thing, right? And you have this personal thing that is usually one person, maybe two together, but then you have the idea of an organ, a pipe organ, that usually means you have to make an entire building out of that. So the psychological differences there is that a piano is something that you can associate with a person, a single individual, while an organ will give you that sense of what I like to call the overwhelming hierarchy. Which is, you are thinking about the institution of the church, the symphony hall, and all of this. So now we extrapolate this concept and we apply it here with a steel drum, and we're getting this this whole concept of, it's kind of tropical kind of nod, right? Let's see. Let's see where it is. And we're getting the motif. Ooh. I like it. So we are mixing old with the new. We got ourselves this very lovely drum, very high quality. And yeah, one of the things about, yeah, it sounds very beachy. We have these bubbling, this bubble sounding synth. We have this this main synth with the melody giving us the motif being the main idea, smallest version of your idea, the seed from which everything else comes from, right? And we are slowly just moving forward with this, giving the vibe, and some of this is not really serving a purpose harmonically, but it is serving a purpose texturally, which some of these are giving us that bubble sound that we are so used, which is one of the things that 8-bit music has a lot of advantages of, because of the genius of sound designs in the 80s and 70s that that led us to have so many iconic sounds. They figured out different textures and different sounds where you can have a very simple synth, a very simple synth, sound like it's a bubble, but it's just a bunch of notes, but it sounds like a bubble. So it still, again, that psychological association that we can make with those, right? Let's continue. Okay, and another thing we are doing here is we are engaging in some very lovely syncopation. Syncopation, of course, a rhythmic concept. Once again, let's go over the idea of a time signature. This is what a time signature usually looks like. I don't have good handwriting, but the overall idea is upper number means the number of notes in a measure. The measure, or a bar, is just a small subdivision to help you keep organized. Upper number is the number of notes. Lower number is the type of the notes. In English, it's super easy. Whole notes is represented by number 1, half notes, number 2, quarter notes, number 4, eighth notes, number 8, so on and so forth. Like you can have 256ths. Like you can literally have a measure of 1 256th. Not very practical, but you can have it. Kind of things. Pioneers, yes. Was 100% pioneers. So it can happen, but the idea of this is that whenever you have a time signature, you are telling me what your expected beat is going to be. So something that we learn in composition world is that different types and different combinations of these serve different purposes. So 4/4 is a very general use. The overwhelming majority of music is going to have this. But then you're going to have something like measures that have the same number of notes, but they are written differently. So they are basically homographs. Homographs is when something is written the same way but means different things, or a homophone, I guess, when something sounds the same but means differently. So, for example, the biggest example of this is the idea of a 3/4 versus a 6/8. A 3/4 bar has 3 quarter notes. So 3/4 has 3 quarter notes, and a 6/8 bar has 6 eighth notes. However, every quarter note has 2 eighth notes. So both of these measures have 6 eighth notes. So how do you reconcile this? And when do you use 3/4? When do you use 6/8? So this is when you have to actually start taking into account the subdivisions. The lower number is not just to determine what this type of note is going to be, but what subdivisions you are going to be using. A quarter-based measure is going to be used primarily for you to count the quarter notes. An eighth-based measure is going to be used to count the eighth notes. So in the case of bars with eighth notes, you are going to want to subdivide them into different groups, while in quarter notes, you can just go through each of them. So a 3/4 bar would be counted 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, kind of thing. Meanwhile, the 6/8 bar, you might want to do the groups of threes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have roughly the same thing, but it gives you a different vibe altogether. I just wanted to make that distinction and bring this up. And the concept of syncopation is when you play off the beat. So for example, in 3/4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It would be playing against that. So, you know, I'm gonna use snapping, right? So we can have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now my snapping has gone in syncopation when you are playing against the beat. And when you syncopate, it gives you this weird sense of motion, as if you're stumbling forward and that kind of thing. And yeah, it can get way weirder than that when it comes to measures, but in general, it's just a good thing to understand which measure you want to use, because at the end of the day, what time signature you use is based on what structure you are using for your stuff. Homophone would be inharmonic or written differently because, yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm just trying to use layman's terms, right? So we have this, we have the drum beat, which is kind of syncopated to the rest of it. So the drum beat is, of course, giving us a beat, and the rest of this is kind of syncopated in a very, very pretty way, giving us this sense of motion. It's really cool. So yeah, the upper synth. Oh my god! Okay, so we completely moved on, but the motif has stayed basically the same. The motif has stayed roughly the same in this whole thing, but now we are using a repetition. We have brought a way more encompassing... yes, Yarg, but that's for later. Yeah, it's a banger. It's really good. It's really good. So now we accelerated drums. We changed which drums were happening, because the previous one, the drums were a little bit more in the background. Now we bring them to the foreground. The cadence there was absolutely beautiful, which, by the way, concept of cadence, there are two things you do when you make music. You build tension, you resolve the tension. The moment right here is called the cadence. There are some types of cadence that can be a little bit different, like a cadence that builds towards more tension. You can have that. Like, you can have that in between two things. This would be usually a half cadence or something like that. But in general, you want your cadence to be right here in the middle. However, sometimes it's difficult to do, especially when you're building this. And this artist has done a really good job in sense of just remove all the layers, let that last instrument just play a couple more notes, drop the beat to completely resolve it. So there are many ways you can do the cadence, and in this case it was basically just giving you one last after push and let the whole thing drop. So there we go. And of course, one of my favorite things, flying melody, everybody. It's flying melody time. Colloquial term. Colloquially just means it's not an official musical term. It's not an official academic term, but I like to call this a flying melody. We have this really busy drum bass, and we have on top of this the motif being played on the higher end, giving you this sense of flying over the landscape that you're in. It's one of the most beautiful things you can do in music. I love it. So yeah, let's continue. Alright, accelerate for another cadence. Oh, solo! There you go, solo! Oh man, this sounds awesome! I really love the mix of the old school synths with the newer drums. This sounds awesome. You are absolutely right. This is an absolute banger. This is awesome, dude. Oh my god, this is awesome. Let's continue. Yeah, and when it comes to solos, it's a very simple thing structurally speaking. You will just have the rest of the band or the rest of the ensemble play an accompaniment. And the accompaniment just means it's not the main thing, it's just the background chords. Usually you can have motifs at this time, but you don't want the backing band, the accompaniment, to get all the full attention. You want the attention to be on the soloist, in which case, in this case, was this one synth. Really, really cool. Let's continue. We're having like a second... Yeah, we're having a bit more adornment in the backing, in the back, but it's still just adornment. So yeah, we are having this second synth doing a little bit of counterpoint to this, which is a fairly interesting thing to do with a solo instrument, because usually solos, they are not going to be too structured in the same way, right? Like, unless you're talking about like a composed solo for like a concerto or something like that, usually these solos are going to be a little bit more free, on the free end of the structure. And in this case, we were having this second synth going kind of like stepwise, going up and down, kind of like running, trying to catch up, while the solo is kind of soaring above everything else, because the solo, again, could be a flying melody. Flying melody, again, is a very all-encompassing concept, just for a melody that is not as busy as what is happening below. And now, of course, we have another synth that was creeping in. Let's see how this resolves. Okay, so now we have 3 layers, I believe, going on right now, main layers. We have the main melody going up above with the main melody. Then you have a second version doing what could be a flying melody, but instead of being high up above, it's through. Ali, welcome today! Exclamation point, how to SR to get the full instructions. And of course, you have the drums and bass going. We are doing counterpoint over here for this one, and we are doing one of the types of what is called species counterpoint. When it comes to species counterpoint, it will usually be a more mathematical thing. So, you know, you can have 1-1 species counterpoint, which means both lines are playing at the same time. Counterpoint being the concept of more than one melody working together, even though they are not the same melody necessarily speaking. So 1-1 means they're both playing the exact same rhythm, maybe not the exact same melody. 2-1 would be for every note one line plays, the other one plays 2. 3-1 for every one, there's 3, that kind of thing. It sounds to me like we are bouncing back and forth between 3 and 2 over here. So we're getting this very beautiful shape of the middle line giving us this very lovely soaring kind of landscape. And in the meantime, we are having for every beat that we're getting here, right? For every one of these, the other one is giving us 3, 3, 3. This kind of really, really cool. It's almost like an ostinato, almost an ostinato. Of course, the concept of the ostinato is when you have one instrument repeat the exact same thing over and over for an extended period. I don't think that's it, because I think it's just a counterpoint that is happening over here. But yeah, we're having 2-1, 3-1 species going over here to give this, you know, like, it looks kind of like rain in this aspect. And one of the most difficult things to do when it comes to music is texture. Because in every other medium, you know, you draw a picture. Yeah, I can draw a picture of a tree. In literature, I can describe a tree. Photography, I can take a picture of a tree. Film, I can film a tree. Music, how do you depict a tree with music? It's a very, very challenging thing to do. So we have a lot of tools for that, and right now it's kind of giving us this concept of we're running through and there's some rain happening kind of thing. Let's see. You did need bot tricks points to request songs, by the way, in the live stream. Oh? Ooh, Ooh, there's a beat in the back, sounds like a heartbeat. Then again, another use of the going off the ramp concept. Let's just call it going off the ramp. Going off the ramp, of course, I'm gonna call this another colloquial term. Another way of establishing transitions. Take away the drums. Take away the drums. Now you're off the ramp. You're suspended up in the air. Let's see where this lands. But you get the chance to slow down, reset everything. Let's see where this goes. Soundwaves chip. There you go. Spectrogram. Yeah, it can be fun. Yeah, but then there's visual. There you go. And we just built the thing back. Ooh. I love this kind of thing, and this is almost the same riff from, I think it's Panic Attack by Dream Theater. Bum 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 ba 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 ba. That rhythm.
Hello there.
Because it's such a cool thing. Potato, welcome today. How you doing? It's such a cool thing to have because it's a syncopated rhythm in subdivisions. So we're doing what? It's a way of playing, I think it's 4/4. It's a way of doing 4/4 in a way that sounds proggy. Because again, the concept of subdivisions in music, usually it is done when you have a certain number of notes, right? Let's say we have quarter note. Oh, that's a horrible quarter note. Let's say we have four quarter notes over here. So that means, let's say this is 4/4. That means we have 8 eighth notes. We have 8 eighth notes. And in 4/4, the subdivision would be in groups of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But what we can do with the subdivisions is we can say, okay, let's put some accents. So we group together groups of 3, 3, 3, and 2. So we are no longer doing 1 and 2 and 3. Now we're doing taka ta taka ta taka taka ta taka ta taka taka ta taka ta taka. So it's still the same number of notes. We're just giving it a very, very different thing because now we are emphasizing this second note here, and of course we're still keeping the last note there. And we can extend it even further to go the way we are hearing it, right? So you can do these divisions of 3s and 2s, and this is, by the way, how you build a lot of what is called odd time signatures. So, for example, the time signature of 5/8, you have 5 eighth notes, and you have to pick which subdivisions you want to use. Do you want to use one group of 2 and one group of 3? Or one group of 3 and one group of 2? Or do you want to actually count all 5? That changes the vibe and the perspective of that, because, you know, a group of 2 and 3 would be taka ta taka taka ta taka taka ta taka taka ta taka taka ta. And the other way around, 3 and 2. So after a certain repetition, it kind of starts sounding the same. So that's where you change it. So taka ta taka taka ta taka taka ta taka. So if we were to do this back to back, so one group, so 3, 3 and 2, and then 2 and 3, we would have taka ta taka 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 ta taka ta taka 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 ta taka ta taka 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 ta taka ta. So having these subdivisions can really help you set that. Get that feeling of syncopation while at the same time advancing things a lot more. Question: how can someone tell a 4/4 made of eighth notes from an 8/4 made of quarter notes? The difference is usually in the notation and the intention. Again, using time signatures is very, very subjective. You can have people that will write a 4/4 and an 8/8, and they will both mean the same thing. This is a relative thing, kind of like which vocabulary you're going to be using to fit what you are doing best. It's usually, the whole purpose is to try and fit the music as best as possible into the bars that you have. Because otherwise it can get confusing, and the point of these kinds of things is to make it as straightforward and easy to read as it can possibly be. So It's, yeah, by listening, sometimes it can be not possible, sometimes it can be possible, and you could still be wrong. So this is very much a personal preference kind of situation when it comes to which subdivisions or what time signatures you're using. Depends a lot on what the composer or the artist wants to do. So with that in mind, I was just bringing up the concept of the Panic Attack by Dream Theater, because that was what we were hearing just now in this transition. Really, really good music cliche to build things up. Let's hear it. Continue. New section, really cool. I like that there's always a synth up above, but sometimes it has the focus, sometimes it does not. It's really, really cool. And yeah, after the video, I can show you some of the music scores I've made so that you can get an idea of how this looks. Let's see. Oh, and we're repeating the motif over here. We're engaging some really cool counterpoint. So yeah, this is really cool. Now we go from the bass having the focus to just repeating that, doing the riff, and now we have an actual melody. The motif is really nice. The motif is really nice. Will be welcome. Hey, how you doing? Building up again. Ooh, this is weird. It's like we're putting filters like it was dropped into the water for a moment. I was not expecting this. Let's continue. Like it's being plugged and unplugged. Ooh. Okay, where are we going with this? It's sped up and... Will be welcome on Twitch. Okay. This is what I was saying about electronic music, right? This is such an unusual thing that can only work in electronic music. You can make it sound like it's breaking down and still make that part of the piece because the glitches that are sounding are on beat. They are doing counterpoint to the rest of the melody. They are doing the call and response of this. I will answer that afterwards, Kevin. Remind me. I will remind you, yeah. And it was used to transition into a slower... It was used to transition into a slower paced... Oh my god, this is awesome, dude. Holy shit, dude, this is awesome. I'm not too familiar with electronic music. Like, I've always been more on the classical music and metal side of things. So seeing this, I have learned. I will, Kyle. I will. Okay. This is very interesting, dude. Oh my god, this is fascinating. This is fascinating. Let's continue. I want to see where this goes because now we've used this breaking down moment to completely reset the pace because we've been having roughly the same drum beat with the same speed, and now we've entered a new rhythm completely. This is very interesting. Yeah, like this is more of a metal, a heavy metal rhythm than it is an electronic, like an EDM type of rhythm. Because EDM is like like so usually it's very, very forward and straight going, and now we are in this more dramatic, kind of like heavy metal, symphonic metal kind of thing. It's insane. And Grand Mango, it's a layman-friendly analysis. Welcome to today, by the way. Oh yeah, you get points. You get points by watching, by the way. And we still have those glitches there. We still have the glitches, and we still have that same melody going, with now the synth that sounds like it broke, but it's still going. This is giving me the impression, this is just me, right? But it's reminding me of the concept of when Jimi Hendrix broke an amplifier and discovered distortion. That's how we got guitar distortion, by the way. Jimi Hendrix broke an amplifier, and he liked how it sounded. So he had engineers figure out, his sound engineers figure out how to replicate that. So this is really good. This is taking some really cool concepts. This is really thinking outside the box kind of thing. I was not expecting this kind of thing. I'll answer those questions after. And yes, potato. Yes, you're not wrong. I will go into detail about that. Oh. Okay, this is beautiful, but I have one criticism about this. The piano just clipped. When it comes to this, V1, welcome to the day, by the way. When it comes to doing a resolution like this, one of the most powerful things that you can do is to go quiet. The piano just clipped, and this is a very, very undesirable thing to have. Clipping is what happens when there's more audio going into the microphone than the software is capable of capturing. So it is overloaded, and it gave us that distortion that sounded. In this case, it's a very unfortunate thing, because it did throw me out of this whole thing. It doesn't ruin anything, really, but the way you do this kind of thing, especially because you are in an electronic environment, you have virtual instruments, so you don't have to worry about, oh, is this going to be too quiet if I play it this way? What you do when you do this kind of thing, when you have this kind of build up, we're having the intensity is increasing along with the volume, and with just, yeah, in general, the intensity is growing with the volume. When you hit that climax, one of the most powerful things that you can do is turn down the volume. You don't do the climax over here, you do it down here. Quietly and very, very, very softly. You play the piano, pianissimo, piano, pianissimo, and you just do it very, very softly. And it just has, it's got not just that tonal whiplash, but it almost gives you emotional whiplash with that inertia going on. And it's so much more powerful than just playing the keys really loud after this. So this concept just executed wrong, especially because the track clipped. And we used the concept of glitching before, but it didn't work here. In my opinion, this should have been a very soft piano. Very, very soft piano. Just turn up the piano and that's it. Let's see where this goes. So yeah, yeah, no, that clipping is just not good. Okay, so I'm saying that assuming it's a resolution, even if it's building towards something else, this concept right here, because I can hear now that the other synths are mimicking that clipping still to give us that sense of glitching, but still, you went for a piano sound. You didn't go for a synth, you didn't go for another distorted instrument, you went for a piano, and it's still incredibly high up in velocity and incredibly high up in volume. I would have kept the volume the same, I would have just turned down the velocity. And most importantly, I would have played it in octaves. In what is it when you do an arpeggio really, really fast? It's not strumming, but it sounds like strumming. I forgot the name of the concept, but you do that in those octaves, because then one of the most powerful versions of this that we've ever had, Dark Souls 3, Soul of Cinder, Blim Blim Blom, Those who have played Dark Souls 3 will know exactly the point I'm talking about. And it is one of the most beautiful executions of a soundtrack in general. The blim blim plom. Masterfully done. And it's what happens when you have this build up and it's going up and it's building in intensity and you drop it down with this super soft piano. And it's just beautiful. And it builds up to other stuff. So in this case, I would say it's still, like, melodically this is working. It's just not how I think this could have gone best. I can't expect every composer to hit everything 100%, right? So we are still working with the concept of the glitching. Let's just put it in this, let's just frame this as this was a risk, because this track has been taking a lot of risks. The glitching, interrupting, the change of pace, and most of them have paid off. This one didn't. It's still building up, so let's see where this goes. I'm just saying that I don't think this risk paid off. Okay, yeah, we're still playing those. We're about to end this song. Let's see how this ends. Oh, silence. And there you go. Ooh. There you go. That's when the clipping tied in. So for the first part, you didn't need to do that. But this time, you could have done a gradual increase. Because now the clipping of the piano gives way to a synth that is continuing this melody, is taking off, like leapfrogging off of it, right? This is really good. But it is now that it is really good. Before that, I don't think that was the right time. Still, this is really cool. Let's see. I'll answer those in a moment. Oh, this is beautiful. And again, another change in the beat. A completely different one, but we're still messing around with those same motifs. This is really, really good. And there you go. It just ends there. Yeah, that last note, it ends and then it loops back. And then you can loop it back very easily. Oh, that was a good ending. Like, overall, except for that one section with the piano that I think you could have turned it down, it was still beautifully melodically speaking. I just didn't like the clipping there, but then the clipping made a lot more sense afterwards. Still, that was impressive. Overall, this was really good. I'm gonna have to check out this game because it sounds fun. But there you have it. That was Euthanasia Rollercoaster. It was one hell of a roller coaster, absolutely, from the Everhood OST 82. Man, that was awesome. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, and I hope I have explained things in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what has happened here. If you're watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, join the Discord, share the video, like the video, comment, notifications. There are so many things to do. If you want to request a song and you're not watching this from the live stream, you need to go to the Discord, and there's an LFA requests channel. Just drop the YouTube link of what you want me to do next over there. We'll add it to the offline queue. Those are a bit more long term, so we'll get there when we get there. And if you want to watch these live, the schedule for the stream in your local time zones, showing the streams on your local time zones when they happen, available on the Twitch and the Discord. Links available down below once again. So yeah, follow the channel, listen to my music, follow the gaming channel, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and here you go, Euthanasia Rollercoaster. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.